So I can't remember if I showed you this or not, but this is the next project on the to-do list. Put this down here. So I picked this up a while back. Supposedly has never been on a machine. Doesn't look like it's ever been on a machine. Certainly based on this flat front, which I'll explain later in pictures. And then because it hasn't been modified to fit. That is because it fits a 420 or 430. Got the short little drive shaft on it here, and it is a 540 PTO for a 420 or 430 garden tractor. Story on this, I bought it, oh gosh, I've had it probably 6 months or more. And I've had it spoken for longer than that, but we have one problem. It doesn't turn. So it is seized up inside. Now I have, about 6 months ago when I got it, I did take and pull this vent off, and I pulled the drain plug out, and I did put PB Blaster in there, and no dice. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the cover off, take the shield off, and then after I take the shield off, then we're going to pull it apart, or attempt to pull it apart, and see if we can get it freed up, cleaned up, and then we'll seal it up, put it back together, and set it on a shelf. At least put oil in it so it doesn't leak out everywhere, or so it doesn't get any worse inside. The shaft looks pretty rusted in there, so we'll have to we'll have quite a bit of work to do, but we'll get there. So let me put the camera up and we'll get busy. All right, so the cover is the first thing, or the shield is the first thing that we need to get off. I'm going to do most of this with a wrench, mostly because I might, well, it's good to go. Hopefully you can see all of this. Yeah, you can. That's what I was afraid of. It's a carriage bolt that's in there, so I've got to hold it with my hands while I take it off. It isn't going too well. I'm not going to be a happy camper if I rounded this carriage bolt off in here. Just what I think I've done. It is. So, grinder it is. I'm going to go grab the grinder over there. I think my battery's dead. Alright, fix that problem. At least the first one. Now my next one is this one right here. Alright, so now I'm going to put this piece on the floor. Try not to fall. Hopefully this is a decent video. Now I can take these two bolts or nuts off. Alright, so when you got tools, Okay, now, how do we get it apart? Well, there we go. Ew. That just looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm not sure how much of that you can see, but ooh. No wonder. This thing needs quite a bit of help. So, I suppose I need to do some investigation and see what I can do about this. So, I'm going to turn the video off here, and I'll come back when I have a plan. Okay, so here's where I'm at after about, I don't know, 45 minutes of thinking and staring and looking and plotting and planning, yada, yada, yada. I finally got the drive shaft side shaft out of the gear. Interesting enough, I got to use the brass drift that I made on the lathe back in November, right here. Kind of fun to use that. It was actually very handy, as that way I didn't damage any of the components, and I actually came out of there with not a lot of force. Little needle bearings in here look nice and frozen up, so I suppose I will be looking to see if I can find new needle bearings. Also got to clean up the shaft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this side of the PTO. I don't know what to do there. I may have to get a press out to actually press that out, or get the press to press that out right there, and we'll go from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean all these parts up, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like cleaned up. All right, well, I've got it partially cleaned up, and I've got it mostly disassembled, actually almost completely disassembled. So here are the bearings. They are toast. They won't even move even after I've been working with them. They are SCE 1614 bearings. INA, I guess, is the manufacturer, so we'll have to find those. They're just needle bearings set down in there. So yeah, that's our that's where we're at on that. But I got bearings out of both sides. There's lots of rust in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a rust ring in there, just where it's sat without grease and stuff like that. You know, it is what it is. When you looked at the rest of the parts, here, I'll drag these over here into light where you can see them. So let's start with the gear. I ended up getting the wire wheel out after the gear just because it wasn't coming clean, and you can see, or hopefully you can see, that the gear does not look all that great. Definitely has some rust spots on it, things like that. Bronze bushings are okay. I finally got this drive shaft off after lots and lots of persuasion. The shaft itself is the worry for me. It is badly damaged. Badly damaged. You can see, or hopefully you can see, how bad that is. You can see the individual marks for the bearings with all the water and everything set on them. The front journal is by far the worst. The back journal is actually okay. It just has a couple small spots in it. The problem is I don't know. I don't even know if it's salvageable to begin with, but you know, that's one of those things that I just don't know. We'll have to stare at it some more. I've got to get this back part apart. This one actually came apart relatively easily. Just the brass drift, I got most of it apart. In fact, I don't even think I did that much damage to got a little bit of wear around the edge of this drive shaft where I had to get it off. Once again, just used the brass drift and kind of just lightly tapped it off. This one, on the other hand, I think we're going to do battle with. I think I'm going to have to get the press out and press this out to get that gear out. So that's for another day. But that's where we're at with this project. Who knows what's going to come of it. But I'll coat all these parts down in WD-40 so they don't rust anymore. They've clearly already rusted enough. And I'm going to call it a night. Actually, I'm going to call it for a couple days. Got a lot of projects at work to do, and you know I'll be working late for the next week or so. So anyway, this video will probably be out the weekend of the 10th, 11th, something like that, maybe a little after that. So thanks for watching.